Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Paul Syng. You're watching Art with Syng, The Late Show. On this show, we do improvised digital collage making in Adobe Photoshop. The first 20 minutes, we're going to look for images on the internet, stock sites like Unsplash and Pexels. And then the following 40 minutes to 60 minutes, we're going to build out a collage. Let's jump right into it. I have Unsplash and Pexels open here in front of me. And if you're familiar with this show, I basically have, apart from the loose structure, I have no plan of what I'm actually going to make on the show live, and hence the improvised collage making. So let's look at some of the images that are available to us on Pexels right now. That's what I'm looking at. And ooh, there's some cool stuff here for sure. I like, but let's see, what can we keep from out of all of these images? Okay. There's definitely some really cool looking stuff here. And okay. Now there's definitely a little bit of an overlap between Pexels and Unsplash, because creative people that do contribute to one of these sites contributes to the other. But that's good. More the better. And okay, let's keep going. I can already see so many images that I have used on previous collages, which is great. And so let's see what else is here. Ooh, okay. So I'm just basically right now at this stage just running quickly through the images that exist on the homepage. I've not put in any filters or any search criteria. Again, just looking at a more serendipitous approach at this stage. We could get into more specifics in a second. Well, this looks kind of cool. Look at this cactus. I feel like the image is a little bit small, so I'm gonna ignore that one. Okay. Let's keep going. There's some great video work, film footage that you can also see that I'm looking at as I'm scrolling through the page, which is like, wow, that's pretty cool. Ooh. Okay. That ear looks pretty cool. Maybe we can use it. So I'm gonna just download this. Okay, so that's gonna be the first image of the evening. And if you've been following along on any of the episodes, by the way, this is episode 4141. And you can say also Artali, Charlie, Charlie, Biali, Charlie, Biali, Tartali. So you can say Charlie is 46. Charlie, Kartali. I think Kartali is 41 in Punjabi. That could be accurate. Okay, so I'm gonna go into episode 41 and let's create a folder. We're gonna create a folder called resources, because as an artist, you gotta stay organized with all your assets and files. That's right. You don't want to be messing around. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Got it. Some interesting portraits that I've seen. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Guy on a motorcycle. Okay. Again, like most of the imagery here is like pretty well curated, you know, edited. So it's way better than what you would see on like a typical site. Stock site is what I was intending at. Sorry, pointing to. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Ooh. There's definitely some cool stuff here. I say that. Ooh. Let me take a sip of my tea here. Some good old-fashioned masala chai. All right. All right. So since no image that I'm seeing so far is like speaking to me, and that can happen. That's very normal. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking for specific things. And even though I'm going to start looking for specific things, they're going to be super random. So for example, I will put, actually I really like this image. I like this, the yellow coat. And oh my God, that looks really cool. So let's download this one. And that looks pretty rad. And we're going to keep that image. That actually looks really cool. Change of plans. I found a really nice image. Let's keep going. What else is on the homepage? Now, Anamjeet, welcome to the live stream. So you're thinking Toronto themed? Sir, we can definitely look into that. I can definitely do something Toronto themed. So let's look for, as per the audience request, we'll look for something Toronto. Okay, so let's see what's available on Toronto here. Okay, so there's a skyline, like cool. What else? I mean, of course, there's the CN Tower, which is, you know, everything about Toronto is about the CN Tower in some way. But what other pieces and elements of Toronto can we bring in to our collage today? All right. So let's take a look. There's the streetcars. The streetcars. Yes, Anamjeet, that's correct. Totally agree. The CN Tower is a bit cliche, although it is a really, really beautiful piece of architecture. But yes, and that is not the only thing about Toronto that we love. And I know that Anam is also, well, I could say that he's a Toronto native. Okay, so, and I am also now like to identify as a Toronto native. Okay, so what are some interesting images of Toronto that we can leverage here? Now, I'm seeing a lot of, I mean, there's Nathan Phillips Square, there's some of this architecture. These look cool. New streetcars looks like, oh, you know what? Actually, that's what we should do. Let's look at Toronto streetcars. That's a great idea. I like the idea. And Unsplash surprisingly has some nice images. I like some of these images actually. I really like this image because it has like a motion blur but it also is like the light trail version where you can see the, and then of course it has the cliche CN Tower in the back. So we kind of have the best of both worlds. We have the CN Tower and we also have the streetcar. So let's download this also. That looks pretty saucy. I like that image. And ooh, there's a front of the streetcar. I think that looks kind of cool. And it's King short turn. All right, let's download this also. That's a nice image. Thank you to Aditya Chinchore. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. Let's keep going. Okay, so ooh. Even though there's like the new streetcars in Toronto, by the way, are so, it's like, damn. In terms of accessibility, they are so much better than the previous ones. In terms of comfort, in terms of, ooh, actually I like this image also. Let's see if we can find like a really nice shot of the streetcar that I can like fully crop out and not just partially. Like, I feel like this is a little bit blurry. And by the way, the new streetcars have been produced or manufactured by this company that also makes planes. It's called Bombardier. Bombardier has been manufacturing these new fancy looking streetcars. So there were some pretty good images here. What is this image like? Okay, it's not the full image. Maybe let's keep looking. Even this one, I don't have a full like, I think the closest we can get is this one. So I'm just gonna go with this one. Let's see where this goes. Okay, download that one. Joshua. Thank you, Joshua, for that image from Unsplash. And then let's see what else is here. Wow. Even this looks kind of cool, but these are like the old, like classic streetcars of Toronto. Let's keep going. Okay. So Toronto. So Unsplash has other images of Toronto. Let's see what they have. So they have the CN Tower, of course. Who wouldn't have the CN Tower? And then what else is? Ooh, okay. Well, this actually kind of looks cool. This entryway to the but this is actually the entry to the subway and not necessarily the streetcar. So I'm going to ignore that one for a second. I like this image of the CN Tower, so I'm going to download this also. Again, what we're doing is we're improvising based on audience recommendations. Okay, so there is... What else can we use here? Okay. Some of these images look pretty toy. Also, let's just check on pixels to see what kind of Toronto streetcar images exist here. Toronto streetcar, okay. Oh, none. So on pixels, actually, there is not a single image. Oh, there is just like one random image. Okay, nothing crazy. Ooh, this building is pretty cool looking. And I see somebody has actually photoshopped it. So that's the only image there. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that one. Just cause it's been like already edited to a certain point. But let's look at some other stuff. What else is in here? Mostly like the CN Tower, the first Canadian place. Okay, cool. Then this is that bridge. All right. Okay, no worries. Let's also look for on Google. Let's look for Toronto. Whoops. Toronto streetcars. Okay. And let's see if there's free images available. So I'm going to go tools and I'm going to go size large. And then I'm also going to go usage rights labeled for reuse. Okay, so there's all these old versions. I'm actually pretty good with this version here as long as it's high resolution. I'm just going to go and say open image in new tab. Then let's take a look here. There's some old versions of the streetcar. Let's see if there's like a really nice, cool version that we can leverage. Okay. Ooh, what is this? Oh, these are the old ones. Old streetcars. Nice. Okay, all old ones. Damn. It's like only a little while ago. Whoops. Let's go and open this also into a new tab. All right. Okay, so we have this image. I'm going to download this, save image as. It's not very high res, but that's okay. Because I'm going to shrink it down quite a bit. Ooh. I mean, this is also a pretty good image, but the only problem is it's very cropped. It's just cropped. It's not very cropped. It's just cropped. Okay. So let's save this image as, again, to our episode folder. All right, cool. I think we have plenty of images and they are pretty cool. Why don't we take them? Actually, you know what we should do before that? I'm going to look at, what's this image? Ooh, I like this image. I'm going to download this. Let's download the cliche, okay? Let's not blow this out of proportions. Let's have at least one cliche image. Come on, like... All right. Okay, so we got one cliche image and let's jump into Photoshop and let's, I'm going to actually switch to my, boom. All right, we're in Photoshop and let's start bringing in some of those images. So I'm going to do a place and let's go into episode 41 and start in the resources folder. So I've got streetcars. I've got, what kind of images do I have now? So this is our short list, basically. These are the images that so one is the 504 streetcar. Damn. Remember the last time we were in the financial district doing like a quick coffee run or meeting somebody for lunch? Man, it's been like 6 months now. Okay. So this is great. That image looks cool. That image looks cool. I like that portrait. The ear. The CN Tower. Okay. So I just made like a very quick assessment of the images that I have. And let's start with this image. I like this dude. In the yellow jacket. This looks really cool. So let's start here. Okay. Oh, wow. That's a square image. Didn't realize. And I'm just going to grab my pen, grab the quick selection tool and do select subject. Okay. That's the first thing we're going to do in Photoshop. Okay. So I see that Photoshop has actually done a very, oh, wow. He's done a pretty good job. I'm just going to go mask and that's it. That is freaking awesome. that Photoshop used Adobe Sensei and just did all the hard work. So I'm just gonna go convert to smart object. And I'm gonna go to view, new guide layout, and 6x6 looks very good. Let's do that and select the V key. I'm gonna just shrink this subject down to a small size and put him right in the middle. And there we go. Actually, let's put him a little bit above the middle. And there we go. Let's bring in image number 2. Okay, so I have the streetcar, of course, the streetcar, CN Tower, the ear, the streetcar, and then the city. So what I'm gonna do is let's bring that city back in. Ooh, okay. So now what I would want to do here is, let's try something here. So let's actually go 0 minus, turn off those guides for a second. And let's try something here. I think this might just work. Okay. Let's try this. Expand this way. This way. Okay. It's slightly crooked. I mean, not crooked, but I'm just gonna level the horizon line, which is basically where the land is meeting the water. Okay, that feels good. I mean, there's a really cool tool in Photoshop that you could use is for straightening, but for the sake of experiment, let's just try this. And I'm gonna go filter, distort, and I'm gonna use the polar coordinates. Let me zoom out here for a second. Ooh. So what is it doing? Okay, let me just go okay for a second. I just want to see what it's doing. Ah. Gotcha. Okay, Command Z. What if I go a little bit out? Okay. Let's try that filter again. Polar coordinates. Ooh, okay. I think I need to explore this filter a little bit more. I don't think I have the hang of this one yet. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try the exact opposite. I'm going to just shrink this down. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get rid of the water. So let's go here. And I'm actually going to use the tool here, the straighten tool. So I'm going to go crop. And then within crop, there's a tool here, which is called, where did it go? Straighten, there it is. And all you do is you drag a line across. So whatever line you want, like the horizon line that you want to straighten, boom, that actually did it. Awesome. And now I can just go ahead, enter, and it's been straightened. Let's select the V key. I'm just gonna crop out the complete water in this image. Okay, for the sake of, and then mask that out. Command I. All right, so we have just the skyline, right? Okay. And actually, let's take this, bring this back to the top for a second. Ooh, wait, should I? Okay. Okay, let's just hold this here for a second. All right, I'm gonna bring the next image in, and we're gonna come back to this image in a moment because there's a lot that we have in terms of images. So I wanna see what else do we have. I have that. Ooh, the CN Tower, the image, that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, let's start with this one actually. Let's bring this image in. And I gotta crop this into. So I want just the streetcar. I don't want the rest of the stuff. So I'm gonna try and see what select subject does. What? That is pretty good selection actually. Okay, but we're gonna need to refine this a little bit. So I'm going to hit the select and mask in Photoshop. And let's select the polygonal lasso. Sorry, just the lasso tool, not the polygonal lasso tool. Actually, no, let's take the polygonal lasso tool because I think that might make a little bit more sense. It's gonna. So basically, polygonal lasso tool is when you want to use more straight selections. So like from here, I want to select all the way till here, and it's just one straight line. Then the polygonal lasso tool makes sense. So all I'm doing is right now bringing in some of that shadow back. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then just do that again. Okay. Whoops. Okay. That's pretty good. Overall selection seems pretty decent. Just need to crop out this part in the back that got selected, which I don't need. Let's just crank that out. Okay, that's pretty good. And then there's just like some minor fringes and minor areas at the top. Let's just get those out of the way as well. Boom. And that is all out. Okay. I think I also have some patchiness in the shadow here. I'm just going to crop that up very quickly. This is the easy stuff. All right. Now there's like a little bit of a sliver right underneath here. And I can do that very quickly also with the polygonal lasso tool here. So let's just grab all of this. Gotta hit the Alt key pulsing. All right, so I always forget the Alt key. All right, there we go. Boom. And I think I'm gonna hit the Alt key and just get rid of this little corner here also. All right, Command 0. That looks pretty decent. I'm gonna just increase that smoothness just a tad. And the contrast. I don't want to increase the feather because the image is already very, very low. Oh, very, very. You know how much I love saying very, very. Layer mask and then hit OK. All right, that looks pretty cool. And let's also turn this into a smart object. So I'm just gonna go smart object. Also the background. The background. Okay, let's turn the background also into a smart object. All right, I'm gonna just switch that off for a second. That's the streetcar. Ooh, the streetcar looks really cool. I feel like the angle of the streetcar needs to be, if that's my horizon line, I feel like it's gotta be. That's the case there. Then my dude over here. Let's actually bring the dude back at the top. The dude should be like somewhere. Ooh. That could work. And the streetcar maybe is like a smaller size. A smaller size. Oh my god. All right. Okay. Actually, if I turn my guides back on, and now because everything is so bright and white, even I can't see my screen. So I'm gonna just hold the command key and hit add new layer. What that does is it creates a new layer at the bottom of the layer stack versus the top, which is the default. And I'm just gonna fill that with black. Why not we fill it with like a bright blue for a second? Whoa. I think my eyes just exploded. I'm gonna go back to the light gray for a second. That's much better. All right, so now not only I, but even you can now see the grid. Okay, so let's take that dude, our subject, and this streetcar and put them in the middle. Okay. All right. Now let's bring in that next image. Actually, first let's hit Command Save. Always good to be saving your document. Command Save, and then let's hit that place. So now Photoshop doesn't have a default shortcut for placing an image, and I've just kind of set it up as Shift Command P, and I've set that up in Illustrator. I've set that up also in InDesign. It's slightly different. In InDesign, it's Command D, but in Photoshop and Illustrator, in Illustrator and Photoshop, yeah. And then the other thing is I've kind of configured my Wacom tablet to pick that up as like one of the buttons as a short key. So I'm gonna just hit Alt and isolate just that layer, turn off my guides, and let's just take out just this ear. We're not Hannibal Lecter, but we just want just this ear. Okay, so let's take the pen tool and let's isolate just this ear. Okay. All right. And let's see here. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. All right. And here's where I have to make like a little bit of a tricky decision, because there's some parts of the ear that don't necessarily have a very clear line. So I'm just gonna kind of make up some of that line. So I'm just gonna create like this odd shape and just kind of blend it out. Let me just say Shift C. No. Escape. A. Let's just clean up this line a little bit. There we go. Just like a little bit of a curvy line. Of course, I can grab this, move it in a little bit, just to better adapt to the shape of that ear. Okay, that might be better. And just let's just do a right click, make that a selection. Boom. All right, let's crop that ear. Okay, so clearly there's some hair that got left over. So I might be able to, let's see here. If I take the, I think spot healing brush tool, and let me shrink down my brush size, and let's try and do this. Okay. Oh, I'm on the whoops, go back. I just realized I was on the mask versus the actual image. And let's take that tool. Oh, okay. Let's turn this into a smart object. And I'm gonna actually just do all the edits on a new layer, and I'm gonna say sample all layers, and let's hit the Alt key. Okay, thank you. So let's just color in some of these areas here. Nice. Okay, so we're just getting rid of some of that hair. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want the hair. As long as it's like believable, that's good enough. Again, this is not like gonna be used in some sort of like a photo, like an ad or like an ad or whatever. Okay, that feels pretty good enough. Like even though it's like blotchy and stuff, that's okay, because the way I'm gonna use it in the image, it won't really matter if it's all like the way it is. I'm gonna just take that new layer and just hit Command E and just convert that into one image. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have that ear. We have the city. Ooh, okay. Now let's see, we gotta make some decisions here. So if that ear, ooh, okay. What if this ear was the central theme here? Okay. And what if even this guy up here was sort of sitting inside this ear? And even this streetcar was coming out of the ear. Ooh, and then let's take that city, flip that around for a second. Ooh, okay. And the city is actually behind this. Let's move that city over for a second. I see. Okay. So there is a theme that comes out, like, having your ear to the ground in a city like Toronto. So wait a second. Instead of having that landscape, what I'm actually thinking is, hold on a second. Let's turn all this off for a second, and let's just turn that off. Okay. All right. Let's actually take part of this ear, which is currently, this is very much like my own ear, except it's not as hairy as my own ear. Like my ears are way more hairier than this. Okay, so let's take the pen tool, and I'm gonna take that layer. Let's just make a quick selection around this part. And what I'm trying to do is, so let's just grab that. Whoops. And let's just grab that. Whoops. It's a tricky spot here to figure out how I want to do the selection in this area. Maybe something like that. Again, I'm just sort of like guesstimating what the crop could be. Oh, Command Z. I mean, this could work, or it could totally backfire. And let's just, again, all the lines in the human anatomy, there's nothing perfectly straight. It's all curves, crooked stuff, and that's why it's amazing. Okay. And what I'm trying to do now is, by creating this mask, this selection, let's do that, and then make a selection. Okay. And I'm just gonna do a Command J. All right. What that allows me to do is put the ear part on the top. Command 0. Now let's bring that subject back in. Right? Okay, so now, of course, this is a little bit weird in the way it's cropped, but I can fix that. So there's some elements that are going to be cropped and certain elements which are going to be partially cropped. So for example, in this case, I'm going to take that brush tool and have black in my foreground, and then actually white in my foreground. My bad. And let's just clean this selection up a little bit here. Okay. So I do want it to look like the person. Actually, let's turn my flow also to 100. And now let's do this. Okay. This should be much more easier now. Okay. The other thing is I've sort of set my pen tablet sensitivity. So let's just zoom in for a second. So in the first stage, it doesn't actually do 100%. Like versus if I use my mouse. Okay, let's just clean that up. All right, so it sort of now has this flavor that this person is inside the ear. Okay. And we'll cook up a story. So this guy is sitting inside the ear. Cool story. And we've got a streetcar. Let's throw that streetcar behind this guy. And let's have that streetcar come out of the back. In fact, let's increase that streetcar size just a little bit. So that streetcar is also coming out of the ear. So is this guy. All right. Now, I think I found one more. So let me just first save this before I actually do anything else, before I make any other tall claims. So actually I had found some other images of the CN Tower, which were a little bit more appropriate. So like that one. Ooh, okay. I think this one is what I was talking about. So let's bring in this image. Okay. Enter. Let's isolate that image for a second. Turn off my guides. Then I'm gonna say select subject. Let's see if Photoshop can. Oh damn. That's pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna go into select the subject and just use my lasso tool and just clean up some of these edges. I mean, like, to be honest, Photoshop's already done like 99% of the work. I'm just gonna go in and do just a tad little bit of executive level changes here. Okay, that we want to keep. That detail's good. All that looks pretty good to me, actually. Like, of course, like some of these edges look a little weird, wonky. So I'm gonna say smooth. Let's try contrast. Let's give Photoshop a second. Like it's already smoothened out quite a bit. Now it does look a little weird. So I'm gonna take that Polygonal Lasso tool there. I'm gonna hit that the Alt key. And let's just draw a straight line here. And okay. Okay. And now I'm gonna just do a regular selection and just make sure that line is like nice and tight. That looks pretty good. All right. Now we have a slightly more cleaner line. Let's just check the tip. That looks good. Oh, wow. How did that get left out? Okay. Of course we want this part, bro. Okay, that looks good. And let's just do layer mask. Put it on a new layer. That looks pretty good. Wow. Okay. I think what I should do is Command 2. I should put on my glasses. My eyes are burning from this screen over here. 1 second. Oh. Okay. There we go. Much better. So I actually don't have glasses. I don't have a number. I just wear them because they are anti-glares. All right, so I'm going to turn this into a smart object. Let's do that. Smart object. And then also turn... Oh, okay. Let's turn everything back on. That is pretty easy to do. Ooh, I don't want that background. Okay. Now, let's see here. I also have... Okay. Yeah, let's take this CN tower. We Command T. Let's shrink that down. And I hold the Option key to shrink down everything proportionately. And that thing is also there in that ear canal somewhere. And maybe he's like somewhere there. Except we have to have it go behind this. Oh, there we go. All right. And this is a fantastic way to cover up some of your blemishes. There we go. Okay, so we have that CN tower there. Okay. How are my guides doing here? All right, so this is a bit asymmetrical. And I'm just going to grab everything for a second. All that. And I'm going to just nudge this over to this corner here. All right. There we go. I'm going to fully lean into that asymmetrical layout. Okay. And now this image, I feel, whoops. Let's just select that image. I actually don't know how I'm gonna, I feel like I don't need this image anymore. I'm gonna just delete that image. Like, it was nice, but sorry. Okay, and then let's just select the eyedropper tool. Maybe that background, so that gray. Ooh, now we're talking. Okay, so we have that same nice yellow color that we had in the jacket. Maybe also let's try different tints of that yellow color for a second. And maybe also, you know, there's no harm in exploring Command Z. I think that yellow looks pretty tight, but let me just try a slightly different tint of the, like, that looks way better. And let's create a new layer. Actually, 1 second here. I just got to do a quick check here of my... Okay, let me move that off screen. Okay. All right. So we've already got a nice yellow. Escape. And what I would want to try is a different color. So let's just go eyedropper and let's just take that color in the ear. Okay. And let's try that in the background. Now, of course, that doesn't create any contrast, but at the same time, I think it also has potential. Maybe like the skin color. Like, these look a little bit messy. Maybe like, let's try. So I could go with a yellow, or I could go with like a Let's maybe go like a little bit closer to that nice skin color that's there. I mean, in like certain situations, the subject that we have really pops, and then in other situations, why don't we try? Okay, let's make another new layer. Let's try the red in the streetcar. Okay. The streetcar red, that has potential. Maybe like the tip here. Instead, if I was to take like a fully bright red here. Oh wow. Okay, that is really different. Let's just take the red in the streetcar. Okay, there's definitely potential. And I'm gonna just ungroup this and shrink down my subject a little bit more. There we go. And let's take that streetcar also. Let's have that streetcar go back there. All right, and then we have that CN tower coming out of there. Now, what would be cool is actually the main part of the CN tower is actually shooting out of the ear, not inside the ear. So it kind of separates from that background a little bit. So maybe it's a little bit bigger. And okay, so I'm going to grab everything except for the background. Command G, group that and call that ear tower. Ear tower. Okay, great. And let's actually grab everything in that group and just shrink it down. It's a little too big right now, and we don't need it to be that big. In fact, I just want the tower to come out of the background a little bit more than where it is right now. So I think I'm gonna go, should I go a little bit more in? Should I go a little bit more further out? I think a little bit further out is not a bad idea. And oh, that's odd. That okay, why is this not showing? Oh shit. Okay, so what I did was classic move. I forgot to link my mask before shrinking it down. So now let's try that same step again. Okay, so now let's do a Command T, shrink everything down. There we go, much better. And now let's bump up the, oh wait, let's do a Command T again. I don't want it to be that small. Actually, hit that Alt key. There we go, much better. And how am I doing for time? 58, not bad actually. Okay, I'm gonna take the CN tower. Let's have that come out of the background a little bit more. Okay, all right, now let's add some depth and dimension to this dude, because we want that to look like the central theme here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this group and I'm going to set him in a way that the central point of this composition becomes this point here, the bottom lower third. And let's take this and let's just draw out. Okay, and let's try this. Of course, I don't want the fit. Ignore that fill. Just a stroke. I want it to be white. And pixel can be 2. All right, that is pretty good for me. Also, I'm not too keen on the red. The red is too crazy. I think the yellow is probably where I'm leaning at. So I'm going to get rid of the other colors here for a second. Delete those. I mean, unless we do like, I don't know, like a black or a white. A white isn't bad either, but I think a black, it's either a black or a yellow. Black or yellow. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with a black. I mean, even though the yellow has its perks for sure, I might just diagonally or somehow crop this in a way where I still bring back that yellow. Okay, so let's keep that door open. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is, so this circle, I'm gonna go Option Command T. Just gonna slightly expand it. Okay. Okay, let's try this. So it's kind of like the, you know, the sound of like the sound signal, sort of like how you're hearing is basically what I've got going on. And I'm just going to take all of these circles, I'm going to group them. And let's call this sound waves. And that's not what sound waves look like, but that's what that is the term that I'm using as a catch-all for sound waves. Okay. That's what I look like in full screen. Sorry, I'm gonna switch back to actually, that's the one I wanted. There we go. Okay. Now, so I have like these sound waves. What I'm gonna do is I've already grouped them, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start like cropping them in a way where they appear behind certain objects. So for example, I want them to go behind the CN Tower. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go mask. Ooh, that actually looks pretty cool that they are wrapping around the CN Tower, but I'm gonna just hit invert. So now they're behind, and with the subject also, I'm actually gonna have them go behind the subject. Okay, cool. And even with the streetcar, I'm gonna have select that streetcar, select this, and have that streetcar pop out in the front. Okay. Now I could do another thing, which is let's take that mask, slide this, and if I go, if I go Command I, Shift Command I, and I go Command D. Actually, that actually looks much cooler. So what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of touch up here. So I'm going to select that CN Tower again, go back to the mask, and be like, no, I don't want it on the CN Tower. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that works. And I don't want it on this subject. Select that again, clean that up. And I don't want it on the streetcar, of course. We don't want it on the streetcar. Okay, and then where's my streetcar? There it is. Let's get rid of the streetcar. Ooh, much better. Okay. So now we just have this really cool pattern wrapping around on top of the ear. Okay, cool. So let's just save this. Save that. Boom. Now let's look for some other elements. Like I would love to have some sort of a plane or some birds up here in the sky. In fact, one of the simple tricks or tips is you just take a circle, you throw that on there. Okay. Let's just throw a quick circle on here. Let's take a decent size circle. Let's select the color. Let's just take this color. Eyedropper that color and drop that into the circle. Okay, so we have the same color. Now I'm gonna obviously throw this in the back, but so let's look at the source of light here now. So there's light coming on the top of the streetcar, and there's also a light source on the left of the CN Tower, and there's like a shadow on the right of it. So the light source would make actually sense on the left hand side, but we're gonna make that moon appear very, very close to the CN Tower. I'm gonna go and just duplicate this layer for a second. And the trick is you take that bottom layer and you go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, which is pretty cool actually. And you say, okay, convert to smart object. And you go with like a really crazy amount of blur. So I'm gonna go maybe like 120. That looks cool. And then the top circle, you do maybe like half of that blur. Okay, so I'm gonna go Gaussian blur, convert solid object, and then that top layer, I'm gonna go 60. And there we go. So now we have this artificial looking sun, which adds a little bit more dimension to our composition. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just group these and Command E them, and I'm going to actually take them behind the CN Tower. Okay, so there we go. And let's bring in some other fun artifacts. Wow. Let's bring in some birds and planes. Okay, so let's go back into Unsplash and let's look for an image of a plane. Ooh. Okay, so if that is my composition, what is the angle of the plane that I would prefer? Definitely not that angle. That angle would look kind of weird. I mean, I could do that angle. That's actually not a bad idea. Because if it's like really far away, I could get away with it. But let's look at some other examples of... Ooh, that one I've recently used, so I know that one. Ooh, okay. Another fun addition to this composition would be a pair of speakers, actually, now that I think of it. So let's actually look at, once we have like a decent image of a plane. We're gonna look at images of speakers, because, you know, it is the ear that's in question. The human ear. So let's see here. I have... Ooh, there's a lot of cool stuff here for sure. I just want one clean image of a plane that I can use in my... And by clean, I basically mean just something that's kind of quick and easy to crop out of its background. Because if I just get into like cropping on this show could be like 6 hours long. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with the plain image that I already have. I'm gonna find We're looking for speakers. Let's look for speakers for a second. Ooh, okay. All right. There's some cool stuff going on here for sure. I'd actually want to pair the image that we have with something a little bit more vintage looking, or something that's a little bit more unorthodox in terms of the speaker. Let's see here. What is my composition? Okay. So as I'm going through some of these images, I'm just trying to be like true to the look and flavor that I'm making in my composition. Okay, so ooh, that might work, but it's white. I feel like, ooh, that looks kind of cool. Let's download this one. This is definitely not a vintage looking speaker, but I am going to look for a vintage looking speaker. Vintage looking speaker. Okay. I just felt a yawn come on. That is totally normal. Okay. Okay. Like that looks kind of cool, but let's keep going. Maybe there's like another. Ooh, that actually looks so cool. Let's download this. Forget the speaker. Let's go with this freaking cool lamp. This looks like at the beginning of a Pixar movie that there's a really cool lamp. And then let's see here. Ooh, I feel like just like Alexa, there should. Okay, let's download this also. Boom. All right. Now, what I would want to do is have that. Okay, that's my idea. Okay, so let's bring in that image first. Not that one. Okay, that looks cool. All right. And I'm gonna just isolate just that image for a second. And let's just do a quick select subject, which is pretty straightforward actually. And let's just mask this out and turn it into a smart object, turn everything back on. And I'm actually gonna take this system that is pretty much found on the top of an Alexa. Whoops, Command Z. I want this to be at the top of the layer stack. Okay, there we go. Command T, let's shrink this down. Want the mic to be in the straight orientation. I'm just gonna put that as a little, like if it was an earring on the ear. Okay, let's increase that size just a little bit. Okay. So there's like this whole Alexa component to this. Now let's also add the next image that we found, which looked really cool, which was I think that lamp. Ooh, and the plane. I'm gonna do the plane first. Let's do that plane first. Ooh. So I am a big fan of birds and planes. In fact, flying. Even Superman, to be honest there. Okay, let's do a select subject. Okay, that's a pretty decent selection. Not bad, but we're gonna have to clean this up. So let's go in and let's take our Polygonal Lasso actually. And let's just clean up some of this selection here. And because the Polygonal Lasso works in straight lines, I am going to make multiple points on this piece. Okay. There you go. We fixed the tip of the nose there. Let's fix the wing tip here. Okay. Apparently this one little tip on the edge of that wing makes the plane more efficient, because I thought it was just like purely an aesthetic decision, but I guess not. They have really thought through the design. Okay, and let's grab all of this selection here, clean this up a little bit. Okay, so we want some of that engine on this side as well. Ooh, it's something about like getting in a plane, the engines throttling on the runway, the plane taking off. Damn, I missed that so much. Okay, let's clean up this edge here at the bottom. Pretty decent. Okay, I'd say overall the plane looks pretty good. I'm gonna just refine some of these engines here, and I actually didn't even know that the engines are made by Rolls-Royce for these massive planes. Okay, I was like, why is Rolls-Royce such a big deal? Because they make engines for planes also, by the way. Side note, I mean, I'm sure they do like a lot of other stuff. Oops, Command Z. Let's just clean that edge up a little bit. Just, I mean, this is not perfect, but that's okay. Option, let's just get this out of the way. Let's grab all this in here. Ooh, not a good idea. Okay. That got a little bit sloppy there. More than acceptable. Okay, that is pretty good. And I'm just gonna clean up this edge here. Oh god, let's grab that again. Let's clean up that edge. That's pretty decent. Okay, I'm gonna be okay with that. I'm not gonna cry over that selection. And I'm just gonna increase that smoothness, some contrast, throw on a layer mask. Call it a day. I feel good. No remorse over that selection. And convert to smart object. V, Command T. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay. And of course, we want that plane to be leaving Toronto. So let's just shrink that down. Okay. Maybe there's like another plane like really far back, like really small. Let's just shrink that down. And maybe that plane is going the other way. So let's do a transform and horizontal flip. Boom. And let's just shrink that down just even a little bit more. And have it sit down here. And then this big bad boy over here, we're gonna have it go a little bit higher. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Now we got our planes into the mix. I also have the Alexa dot over here. Maybe that Alexa dot is not really doing justice, is it? I feel like it's like a what if I was to take that Alexa dot, not that Alexa, where did it go? That one? Yes. What if I was to have it sit underneath? That might work better. Okay, and on this side, I gotta have something also. Let's save that. Ooh, I wonder if I was to turn this off. Ooh, that actually looks pretty cool. I wonder if I brought in some like black text into this whole mix and I said YYZ, for example. Because that's like the airport code. Airport. Okay, so let's see if I was to take this and say acumen. Let's see here. There's so many options here now for me to pick from. And if I was to choose, let's say a black. Ooh, okay. Again, like, I'm just checking to see how this might work. I could, I mean, of course, like there's many ways here, but if I was to go and grab all this, let's grow this fully. Okay, all the way to the edge. And if it's not actually behind everything. Ooh, okay. I could also have this offset a little bit. So Yep, that could work as well, because you still feel like the YYZ is still written. Okay, let's try shrinking this down for a second. Okay. If I have it set right there. And let me take this and... Okay, so that's my mask. Okay, so if I was to go... Let's actually group everything above the text layer. Group that. Whoops, that is also in my group. So I'm going to pull this out of the group. Okay. And let's try throwing this mask on top of that. Boom. Okay, Command I. And then let's take that ear, for example. What? Oh, right. Go back to that mask. Now, technically, all I would need to do is... let's go back to this thing. Just invert that mask. And okay, so let's grab just this text for a second. Go to the top layer. Okay, D. Let's just clean some of this up. Okay. Increase my brush size using the right bracket key. Okay. And okay. Cool. I mean, I don't have to add the text. Like the text is just like, the text is just a nice have. It's definitely not. But I just want to see what it looks like. And Montreal got no streetcars. That's true. And I know that was a very silent jab at the other audience member there, but totally acceptable. Okay. And okay. That looks pretty tight. Okay. Now, of course, there's minor imperfections here, like freaking the part of that. Oh, if I actually caps lock this, and then let's just clean this up, this edge up a little bit. Whoops, X. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna just be stuck here cleaning that up. Okay. Whoops, X, and all right. That's pretty good there. Command D. Oh, right. I need to actually bring that Y back. Duh. All right. So let's bring this. Ooh. In fact, I should X. Let's try this for a second. Okay. X. Oh, right. So this is creating the right, because the problem is that the text is actually below. Okay. Now let's try this. So if I go X. Oh. Okay, let's try this for a second. I think I'm not gonna even do the text. I feel like in this situation, the text is a bit, oh, Command Z. I feel like the text is a bit of an overkill. Delete layer mask. And then let's get rid of that. Yeah, I think this specific text was a bit of an overkill. What I could do instead is, let's actually take a look at this. And let's do file save. Let's find some interesting text about Toronto, okay? So let's go back into the browser for a second. And let's just look for, in the Google search, what if happens when you put Toronto, okay? I'm gonna turn off my all caps. Toronto. Okay. Toronto. The Toronto. Let's look at the Wikipedia page for a moment here. Toronto is the city of Toronto. Blah 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 is the most people have traveled. Blah blah. Okay, maybe I want to look at the pop culture definition of Toronto here. So maybe let's put Toronto plus, let's put Drake. Okay, that's gonna give us some fun results. Okay. How much is Drake's Toronto mansion? $6.7 million. Is finally complete and Drake is giving us a mini tour. Great. Good story, bro. Drake's 40 Toronto references. Okay, let's look at complex Toronto's according to Drake. Okay. Ooh, that's a pretty good illustration. But city's mine, deep pockets, 30 for 30, free lifestyle, war, club paradise, horse weaver, silly, still fly, know yourself, blem. Well, I actually like this first one. That was called City is Mine by Drake. Ooh, that's a good one. City is Mine. Let's go with that one. Let's go back to our composition and say, whoops. In fact, I'm gonna actually delete this for a second and say, okay, let's just do the city of mine. Okay. And Command T, let's shrink this down. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I think I messed up that spelling there. City of Mind. Okay. So now I'm probably going to break up some of these words because I think I'm going to have like city here, off here, and then mine maybe somewhere here. Okay, so let's just clean up some of this stuff. So I'm going to just delete this city and then city here, but also the word mine here. And then in this piece, just get rid of all that. So now I have all the words on a different layer. And let's look at off first. Ooh, okay. Oh, actually, let's just play around with the typography. Again, we're not like bound to how we want to interpret this. Always fun to try different things and just bend the mind, because even though, you know, your mind wants to like apply a grid and just put everything in its place in a box in some sort of way, always good to just push your brain to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. That is definitely looking really weird, but it's actually also good in a way. Right. Actually, let's see if I was to Ooh, okay, and let's move that word off. In fact, the word mine should be aligned with this piece here. Ooh, wait a second. The dot is on the other side, so I'm gonna just align it up the other way around completely. And the word off, let's try bringing that into, ooh, let's fit this little off piece into this cavity here. I think that might look interesting. Again, I'm just making like these wild. Okay. There's nothing regular about this. Okay. And they definitely don't teach you this anywhere. Okay. And for good reason. Okay. Maybe this also sort of. All right. I am feeling super cool and good about this city of mine. There's a bunch of planes. Of course, I might go with the black version of this, or should I go with the yellow version of this? Now both look kind of cool. I would want to just slightly tweak the yellow in the background. Maybe let's just take a new layer. Maybe a darker yellow. Yeah, because there's like that source of light that we had created, and I actually want that to stand out a little bit. So just a slight bit of glow right there is gonna look really cool. Those planes. Okay. What if I actually, let's just do like a slightly darker shade without it getting into like a greenish. Oh, that's ugly. Okay, hold on a second. let's take, I feel like you got to be like really smart about this. Or what if I take white? No, white definitely doesn't work. Bad choice. That doesn't work either. Black. I feel like, yeah, yellow is probably the best one. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna lock this down. That's the one. And I'm not gonna overthink this. Yeah, I think that is the composition, I would say. Let's see here. Let's just grab everything. Let's delete that black layer for a second. Let's take everything that we have here. I'm actually going to slightly offset this just a little bit more, because to really sell that effect of, okay. Yeah, I think that like really offsetting it to the side will be much better. And of course, it's revealed some problematic areas because I technically didn't mask out some of these pieces, but that's okay. I can mask them out now. So I'll just take the brush tool very quickly, increase that brush size. And with the black selected, I'm just going to mask out some of these problematic areas very quickly. And that is it. That takes care of those tiny little issues that were there. Okay, and boom. Now, final thing we're going to do is let's bring in some textures. So let's do Command Save first. And let's bring in our first texture. Okay. And for this piece, I feel like we should try, let's see here. What do I have in my textures? I have black, grunge, burnt paper, color texture, dirt, distressed, film dust texture. Ooh, geez, I don't know. Am I going to take the film dust textures? Yes, exactly. You guessed it. Okay, so let's bring in that dust texture first. And the most busy part of that texture, I'm going to go opposite to the composition that we made, because I don't want all that busy texture to be covering the composition that we made. So I'm just going to go and say lighten or screen. Ooh, I think both have like their own effect. I'm going to go with screen. I feel like screen does a pretty good job. And then let's bring in, yeah, let's bring in the next one. So I'm going to go place, and let's bring in the photocopy texture. So go to textures, and then I'm just going to go into my photocopy textures. Photocopy, there we go. And ooh, washed and worn textures. I've never used these ones. Washed and worn. Let's try this one for a second. I just want to see what it looks like. Oh boy, that looks pretty strong. But let's see what magic it can do. Or not do, actually. So if I go into overlay, and actually if I go like soft light and I do like a 10%. Ooh, it actually adds like a really nice texture. So maybe let's try a 20%. Ooh. I think this definitely has a little bit of potential. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stick with this one. It adds like this stone finish. It has like a really nice finish to it. Do I want to increase any other objects here? No, I think I'm pretty good. So that is basically the composition for today. So I'm just gonna hit the F. Let's just bring this to the middle here. Actually, let's bring it to the side. And so there you have it, folks. That is the composition for today, based on some inputs from the audience. Thank you, Anamjeet. We have basically made a little bit of Toronto, and this is an ear with a streetcar, the Toronto CN Tower, a person coming out of it, and it's like you have a pulse on the city, and the line goes "City of Mine," which is from a Drake, I think, song or lyric. And then you have, because Pearson, and then you also have Porter. So you're always exposed to some sort of planes in Toronto. So I think they make a really good addition to this piece. And then at the bottom of that ear, where you would typically find an earring, is where we have the controls for an Amazon Alexa. It's because, you know, even though you have your ear to the ground, you're living in the city, there's always somebody constantly listening. Okay, nothing to fear. It's not that crazy. I'm just making shit up. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this composition. I will see you again tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for The Late Show. Till then, take care. Have a very, very good night. Bye.